Would you Adam and Eve it? A minority championing the right to offend people. Allegedly. Reports from the end of last week have indicated that Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary in charge of UK policing, has apparently spoken out in favour of free speech. Shocking. However, don't get carried away. Every politician says this until they change their mind after persuading the public that they're on their side. Braverman has allegedly said that recording of non-crime hate incidents, including those who defend a person's biological sex, is Orwellian, and the police are more interested in virtue signalling than catching criminals. Where have we heard that before? Oh yeah, everywhere, including hundreds of times here on this bloody channel. But the public's voice doesn't matter to anyone, does it? And it's only when someone like an MP speaks up that people pay attention, which we've already seen is a very dangerous mindset to be in. Now, it's important to note that although Suella Braverman has said that forces must now focus on catching burglars, fraudsters and yobs ruining lives, this is by all accounts simply guidance and not something that is or will be put into legislation. In fact, she says that police must now use common sense. Sorry, can't say that without laughing. I mean, police, common sense? Nah. Reports suggest that only comments posing a real risk of significant harm or that a future crime will be committed will now be noted by officers, but this means reported as a hate crime incident. There's nothing that I've seen yet that says they won't still attend incidents of wrong think, just it won't be reported as a hate crime incident. Now this to me sounds suspiciously like they're not actually trying to stop policing our thoughts, and in fact will likely not impact the number of police being freed up to deal with actual crimes. In an interview, Braverman said the recording of so-called non-crime hate incidents has understandably struck lots of people as Orwellian and wrong. Victims of crimes like burglary, antisocial behaviour and fraud will rightly feel that the police force should focus more on catching the perpetrators who have caused them misery, rather than wrongly getting involved in lawful debate. The perception, however unjustified or unrepresentative, that some police are more interested in virtue signalling than they are in protecting the rights of the law-abiding majority is utterly corrosive to public confidence in policing. The guidance now said to have been put in place advises police officers to look for a common sense reason not to record an incident if the complaint is trivial, irrational or malicious. And the fact someone is offended does not mean an online row should be recorded. Now, I said in one of my recent videos that one thing I like about the USA is that they will literally tell callers who call 911 that they can't attend an incident of free speech just because they're offended by what's being said, and is something that should be implemented here in the UK. But in order for that to happen, I think that legislation must change or an enshrined constitution be drafted for the people, which protects our rights. Of course, in the USA, inciting violence or criminal offences are not covered under free speech, but disagreeing with somebody and calling them an utter twant is not an unlawful act in the USA, who built their laws and constitution off the back of our own over the centuries. So, how can it be that the USA, in that respect at least, is more progressive and actually care more about the rights than the majority of people here in the UK? I mean, apart from the fact that school curriculum changed so much that basic human rights and the protection these rights offer us is no longer taught in schools. Now, although I think this is a good idea and something worth remembering if you are protesting, I don't think this will in fact prevent the police from policing with their feelings rather than impartially. And apart from the act not being recorded as a hate crime, I think the police will still be abusing the Public Order Act and breach of the peace to effectively stifle our freedom of speech still. I guess only time will tell, but providing you are not inciting a crime or being threatening, then we should in theory be able to say what the fuck we want, which would include telling somebody to fuck off.